barbarism, black ancestors died for freedom. Terror and tyranny of European colonial conquest. Vultures and vampires of the white world. Bloodthirsty reptiles with blue eyes, sucking the very lifeblood of African people. Black babies, little black infants snatched from their mothers, molested, raped in front of their helpless parents by white.
Hello, Biafrans. Good afternoon, or good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to this live broadcast. We are here today, especially a very, very special broadcast. Today, the 18th of September, 2022. Today is Sunday. And of course, just a day after the killings that were experienced, in Imo State. Anyways, we're going to be talking more on that today. It's a special day because I have our Pastor EMEKA LIVINGSTONE with us today. He's actually, been doing great, and he's been very busy. He had to just cut off his busy schedule to make sure that he attends to this broadcast today. We're not going to be taking much time. We're going to just be with you for 1 hour, and he's going to be speaking extensively on some vital things. Of course, you know that our topic today is the evidence of the Queen's evils against Biafrans, and also the sequence of events that have been happening to in the land of Biafra and the lives of Biafrans today. Welcome, Pastor. Please greet Biafrans.
Thank you, dear Biafrans. Good afternoon from here. This is 1:04 in the afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are. Good morning. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome. Sorry for taking you out of your busy schedule today, because I know you've been very busy. I had to just make sure that you are here. And of course, Biafrans would have to benefit from your time today, because there are so many things that I would want you to really talk about today, because we have been seeing so many evils going on, especially in the life of our people. Aside that, of course, we know that these things have begun before, even now, before the British gave the sham independence. There have been evils going on. And before we go on into the issue of the Queen and the activities of the British House, the what do we call it now, Buckingham Palace, towards Biafras and all of that, we want to look critically at, because we don't want to really waste much time. We just want to go into serious business. Yesterday, there was massive bombardment and killings of Biafrans in Anambra State. Precisely. And of course, in Biafra land, let me not say Anambra State, because when we say Anambra State, we're actually instituting the Nigeria concept into the whole thing. One of the provinces of of Biafra land, and the Igbo side of it, and the Nigeria government, where they have helicopter gunships, the armor tanks, and all of that, and do some. But if you observe critically, you will discover that for a period of time now, things have been happening in sequence to this time, from happening to the point of this particular release of this Nzama group called Nso, that have come to now instituted by the politicians using Muhammad Abbas and co to actually create chaos amongst Biafrans. Please, can you just talk extensively on the sequence of events from that time until now?
Yes, and if I don't put it orderly, but at least Biafrans can understand me. One, this group, before this group was, I think, formed, Onyendu's wife came out and spoke against Autopilot and endorsed DOS. She did. And then right after that, we had the, I think Ejiofor came out and said that, I heard it, read it somewhere, that China Sangoro described him as Agone Chobodo Biafra 1. And then after that, the regional Southern Command of NSO, those evil people, were formed. The next thing you are hearing now is the bombing of our people. That has been the pattern. Whenever they want to do something evil, they start from somewhere. If you remember, in the past, they did something like that. When somebody said something, Ejiofor also came out, said what he said, and then I think the former the deputy governor to Ojuso, what's his name? What's his name? He's a senator. Abaribe came out in support of DOS, saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu does not like the sit at home and stuff like that. Those sequences followed for things to happen. So my worry is this, and I want to apologize because I know Simon Ekpa may not find it happy if I say this, because he says we should not speak against Ejiofor. But I beg to differ here. Ejiofor's actions is incongruous to his appointment as a legal counsel to Nnamdi Kanu. He's not supposed to take sides. He's supposed to focus on his legal profession in defense of Onyendu. But for him coming out to say Chinasa Nworu is Agunecho Bodo Biafra 1, in the very presence of all these things that are happening, Dead Man's Squad that was formed and everything, I have reasons to believe and declare openly that Barrister Ejiofor has not been giving Onyendu the right information. And that was why when Simon Ekpa said, we will not take orders from the dungeon, because he is sure they are not giving Onyendu the right information. If Ejiofor could say that concerning Chinasa Nworu, I doubt his middle ground, his plainness, his sincerity in this movement. It's not supposed to be for either IPOB, Autopilot, or DOS. It's supposed to be for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu carrying his case to court. For him to come out and brand Chinasa Nworu, Agunecho Bodo 1 of Biafra. You remember he went and danced with, what's this man? The guy that has a ministry. He's a comedian. Odumeje. Odumeje, he received severe criticisms. And that Odumeje is not supportive of the Biafran cause. So I have my reservation about Ejiofor in respect to the side, his position in this Biafran struggle. So Ejiofor is even trying to bring division in our midst by coming out to declare Chinasa Nworu as Aguneche Obodo Biafra 1. When Chinasa Nworu has formed a squad contrary to ESN, are there that the ESN guys were, in fact, they told them to leave the bush. He told them, they gave them instruction. They call out their names, they kill them. Why will Ejiofor come and be identifying himself with such a person? Why not keep quiet and focus on the legal aspects of what he was called to do than entering into the squabble? So he's bringing division, and I don't like it. I beg to differ. My apologies to Simon Ekpa. I disagree here. I am speaking again. Please, I hope nobody takes offense.
Yes, Pastor, you know, when it has to do with the freedom of the people, there are some things that you cannot just overlook, because we are in a crucial time, and we have discovered that the Nigerian government understands that we have this sentiment attached to those of us, even if they are betraying, and as long as they are from our region, they are from Biafra, we try to, dilly-dally about their issues, and they try to also use these people against us because they go into the sentiments that we, of course, we exude, and then using those sentiments against us. That is why you see that people like Barrister Ejiofor, who actually is showing signs of destroying or misrepresenting what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stands for, is actually being used by these same defunct DOS officers, to actually carry out some actions and to make some presentations. Now, from the time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinarily renditioned into Nigeria, kidnapped in Kenya, and all of that, until now, we have seen the turn of events, especially with the barrister. And there's no way we can overlook them because they have become so sensitive and very, very, very significant to the movement. Now, if you remember, one time he granted an interview to some certain people. Yes, I know that Mazi Simon Ekpa, as the spokesperson of Biafra, has said we shouldn't actually castigate him because of that. But there are some things we need to point out. We're sorry about talking about it because we have to just point out some certain things. Now, he granted an interview because, he occupies a position that should be neutral. But yes, he now uses that position as a means of pushing or selling the enemies of what we are doing. Now, do you think, okay, let me just not ask this question because it will be like we are going too deep, you know, in talking, because there's a particular question I wanted to ask if you think that he is for Biafra freedom or he's working against it, but let's leave it at that. But
no, I will answer it. Let me tell you the truth.
Okay.
Listen, when Buhari was first elected, he went to America. He accused the American government of indirectly financing terrorism if they don't give support to the government to fight terrorists. That was the way Buhari put it. If a Ejiofor will come out now, let's be frank on it. Look, I'm not a small boy. I don't stand for nonsense. And if anybody don't like it, the person has a problem. That is why, because that's why I'm saying these things. So let Biafrans hear it. I don't have any interest than to see that Biafra comes. I'm not interested in government. If a Ejiofor, who is supposed to be neutral, and because there was a time he said at the early stage when he was defending Nnamdi Kanu, when he was the lead counsel, he said he does not want to be brought into whatever misunderstanding that lies within the IPOB people.
That's right. That
his business was just to deal with his client in the court of law. And I like that. Now, Ejiofor is deviating from the original purpose. And it is annoying. So Ejiofor is working at variance to Nnamdi Kanu's vision, and even the very wonderful job that Simon Ekpa and those of us who are backing him up are doing. So Ejiofor is by this creating division, whether by design or default. If Ejiofor will come out and say China Sanwo-Olu is Agune Chamber 1 of Biafra land, it's creating division, because we have evidences to show that China Sanwo-Olu has financed and then, you know, supervised the extermination of some Biafran boys. So, for me, I put it directly that the Ejiofor is causing division. He should mind his business as a lead counsel and stop, or as a Nnamdi Kanu's representative in the court, and stop getting involved in what's going on in Biafra. He's trying to create the impression that we are fighting. We are not. These guys are evil people. We have evidences that they were either complicit or they conspired or they compromised in respect to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's abduction and rendition. He knows. Why would he come and begin to give kudos to China? I'm not interested. I'm not jealous. That's not the issue. The point is for him to say it, and today they are bombing Olo. Where is the man who is? That's what gave China some more impetus to create the South NSO. That's what gave him the impetus. And they're working in tandem with the government of Nigeria. Who are their targets? It's ESN members and IPOB members. They have started with Olu. They are bombing. Ejiofor's comment is even lending credence to all those wickedness. So he should stay clear and mind his business. And let's respect him for that. That's the simple truth. It's not for us. The way he's talking now. Even though he's Onyendu's lawyer, his activities are at variance with Onyendu's vision. That's a fact.
We know that Ejiofor is not daft. He's a lawyer. He's also a brilliant lawyer. And
exactly.
He knows the implication of what he's doing, because it is obvious that he knows and he sees what is happening. He knows what Simon Ekpa is doing. He knows what these people have been doing. He can also read in between lines and sense what has been happening. So obviously, by his actions, he is an accomplice, or he is also being part of destroying the work of Onyendu. What do you think?
Exactly. Even though it's his counsel in the court, not the lead counsel this time, even though he's possessing of the counsel in the court of law, he's, like you said, he's a smart guy, he's intelligent. And if you are not careful to read in between the lines, Ejiofor can fool you. Ejiofor is trying to turn away the eyes of the Biafrans from the good works we are doing, sending it towards the defunct US members who did evil works and were expelled. So Ejiofor is not doing, he should have just kept quiet, concentrated on the court of law thing. But now I understand Ejiofor has not been telling Nnamdi Kanu the real situation on ground. He has not.
You're right. It's obvious that he has not been telling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu the real situation on ground. And then the pictures he gives to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of course, he's going to judge on that based on the fact that he expects Ejiofor to actually stand on the truth and also make him understand the truth. And now, of course, you know that the Nigerian government too are observing. They have their analysis and the analysts. They have those people who actually plan for them, devise means of, you know, watching events of situations and all of that to actually come against Biafrans and all of that. And of course, they also depend on the information from these politicians, these Biafra politicians who actually send their people. They also need information from the lawyer who is also being compromised, or who is actually playing, you know, a smart, a mawkish game. Let me not call it a smart game because it's mawkish. It's foolishly sentimental, you know. And now, what do you think is going to be the implication in forming out a pattern or helping the British and the Fulani government to actually really deal or attack Biafrans, you know, and how it can also affect the fight or the liberation movement? How do you think the behavior of Ejiofor, being that he is the lawyer to our leader, at the same time working contrary to what our leader stands for, how do you think this implies, you know, on the whole vision of our freedom?
Look at my brother. The implication of this thing is clear-cut. Ejiofor is trying to push us towards a political solution because there's pressure on the Nigerian government to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from the UN. Number two, the circumstances surrounding Nigeria now is that keeping Nnamdi Kanu is bringing them is discrediting them to the whole world. So they want to offload Nnamdi Kanu to us. But they are going to do it using, there must be something, a clause they're trying to put there. That's why they are working with Chinasa Nworu, this group that they have formed. Having formed this group, they're working in tandem with the government. They are now together. They call Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and tell him, these guys have worked very well, that they know what they are doing, that the other guys have been against you. These guys have fought in your defense so much. And this is what they are. So they are going to release you, and as soon as you come out, make a declaration, make a statement. But I have told you, Chinasa Nworu, Chike Dozem, they are doing a fantastic job. That's what Ejiofor is planning to do. And once he does that, and Nnamdi Kanu comes out, it will go, one, is being released. Number two, a political solution. The Biafran dream will die. Very simple. And that is what they are working on. Remember what happened to Masob leader Wazirike while he was in detention. When they came and visited him in detention with his commanders, Wazirike was tired since his commanders have been taken. They are on the side of the government. What could he do? So he's trying to bring Chinasa Nworu, Chike Doziem them on the side of the government. And then at the end of the day, take credit for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu after 1 year and 4 months in detention, and automatically transiting from the Biafran spirit and struggle to a new one, which Ejiofor, by his intelligence, is bringing in with these guys. He has the backing of Soludo and co. So that when he comes in, Nnamdi Kanu has no other thing than to say, well, I've labored this thing. Why don't we just... That is why we are saying, if Nnamdi Kanu comes out, he's not going to say anything. Nnamdi Kanu will be removed from Nigeria to a neutral ground where he will stay. Then he will talk to us, we'll listen, because he will hear both sides of the stories. We are going to bring video clips and evidences of what has happened. How Simon Ekpa came in when everything nearly collapsed. And he came in and salvaged. We all worked. Even Dr. Nelly played her own role very well at the early stage, which was against Chinasa Nworu and Chike Doziem. Those things wouldn't be forgotten because they played their own role too, positively. It's just that along the line, things spoiled where Nelly is. But if you look at it, the role Chike Doziem played and Chinasa Nworu played, that of Nelly herself, the little time that she played that role, did a lot to advance the Biafran cause. As against Chinasa Nworu and Chike Doziem has consistently played negative roles up to today, and they're leaning towards political compromise, political solution, which eventually will make the whole concept, the whole struggle, nonsense. Bangladesh. And then maybe look at, it happened to Ikemba Nnewi. When Ojukwu was granted pardon from Ivory Coast, they went and brought him and formed the Ikemba Front. He was now asked to join a political party. Ikemba joined MPN. Do you remember?
Definitely.
and the Ikemba front clashed with his political opponent at is it Mpo or Gideon somewhere, where a lot of people were killed. At the end of the day, they branded Ikemba fighting with his people again. It is the same plan they are having, and they're using a very intelligent man, to begin to midwife and birth this thing, because they know that if Onyendu comes out and knows the truth, they're in trouble. But if Onyendu should say anything, to go back on it will be difficult. So they're only trying to compromise the man's standards and then go for political solution. We say no, because Simon Ekpa and us, we've worked very hard to sustain the spirit of Biafra. We are not going to bite. If Onyendu comes out, we are flying him out of Nigeria to a foreign land where he will stay. They feed him, we stay with him very well, show him all evidence. They can come and bring their own and show, no problem. After that, whatever Onyendu tells us, we'll listen.
Obviously, we have been having lots of attacks, betrayals coming from the point of the British, which instituted a sham election, forced Nnamdi Azikiwe to the back seat, gave the power to the North, created that situation that is killing our people up till now. And there is somebody who actually sat on the seat to make sure that these things happened. She has been there since 1926, and she has presided over the killings of Biafrans. And of course, she actually died without apologizing. She has created lots of institutions and bodies to make sure that the stealing and all of that continues. But before we go on that, please, I want you to just talk about who the Queen of England, the late Queen Elizabeth II, is to Biafra.
Okay, I don't know the possibility of you playing out. I sent you a link. I don't know. Is it possible for you to play it out? I want Biafrans to hear directly.
Okay, maybe what I'll do is we're going to have another broadcast. I'll try to set it up next week. Or this week.
No. We have a chance. What I just have to do is to use. I have another computer here.
Okay.
If I can put the computer on while I'm talking, we'll put it there. Do you understand me? Please.
Yes, you can. Okay, please do.
Just a minute.
Yeah, you can connect it direct and play from there.
The woman is an evil woman, or was an evil woman. She did us evil. I don't know if you have heard of Mrs. Oyibo Odinamadu.
Yes, I was going to talk about her, but I wanted you to just talk about the woman in relations to Biafra, who she is to Biafra.
Okay.
First, we'll talk about
the queen, the late queen. May her soul rest in hell. Was a very formidable enemy to Biafran people. Incidentally, it was during her reign that we had one of the most wicked British prime ministers who boldly spoke against the Biafran people. His name is Harold Wilson. The Queen has never favored the Biafran people from the onset. And like you rightly pointed out, the first election that was held in Nigeria was conducted by the British people, and they carried it to favor the North, so that eventually the North will rule. They blackmailed Azikiwe into taking a ceremonial leadership position. Their reason was to maintain economic stranglehold on the Nigerian people, because Biafra has the resources they needed. And the only way they could keep it is to give it to a willing servant that will be so eager to carry out her instruction to the detriment of those of us that own those resources. So there was so that is, in a nutshell, what the Queen stood for the Biafrans. She stood against the Biafrans, stood for Nigeria. Nigeria in favor of the North. Against Biafra because for economic reasons and control.
That's
so the Queen never told us at first.
The interest was economic. The interest
yes, it was
basically
basically economic interest.
So as you wait for as we wait for you to actually open up the video so that we can view, I want Biafrans to understand that we are looking critically at the Queen Elizabeth, who actually is late now. And of course, we have been praying that God will deal with her very well. That has been our prayer, because she has done lots of evil to us. She has been there presiding as a woman, to see to the killings of millions. And there's so many things that, if you see the picture behind me, you'll see the Biafra children, some of them falling, dropping dead, some of them hungry, dying gradually. These are all because of Queen Elizabeth. And her wickedness has actually caused millions of us to die, even till up to today. Over 6 million Biafrans have died since the institution of this Nigeria contraption. And at the same time, the Queen presiding over it. She has actually stolen so much from Africa, stolen very, very much with her empire, stolen so many things. In fact, there are so many details that when you hear them, you begin to wonder, can this kind of people, are these kind of people really existing? Of course, we also have stories of different kinds of evil going on in Buckingham Palace, and all the evils are basically against the people of Africa and Biafrans in particular. And these are the things that have been going on. And of course, we know that you cannot talk about the killings that are happening to Biafrans today without looking at the Queen, who actually would have stopped it because she had the power. But and this is why we're going to be talking about one Mrs. Oyibo. Some of you don't know her, but as we go on in this program, you're going to hear about her, what she did, the things she and other women did. Strong, vibrant woman. She was the vice chairman of UPN, that's United Party of Nigeria, in 1978, and she also was the vice, gubernatorial, candidate at 1978 to, the time when Buhari and Mudiagon came in and now proscribed that party and other parties too. And when they came in with their coup and took over, she actually worked very, very well with other women, under the auspices of WCP, and that is women's WC, that's women's cultural and philanthropic committee or organization that she composed. She and other women composed it, and together they actually worked under that. And when the war broke out in 1968, she and some women went to the United Kingdom. You're going to hear much of these and how the things that they went to discuss with the Queen, who actually blatantly neglected them, blatantly didn't listen to them, neither did they give them response and all of that. Lots of evils that went on. So as we wait for that, please, Pastor, are you ready? So that we can see.
Just almost. I will. I'm there right now, looking at the at this thing. Yeah. I'm trying to look at her profile and stuff like that. That woman was a great woman.
Okay.
She died at the age of 94.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look at her story, what she did, how she started during the war and stuff like that. I want to read it out to Biafrans. I don't want to say it with my mouth. So I am there now looking at it.
Now, before you read it, Pastor, I want to ask a question. You see, there's something significant about those people who have actually made history in life, especially when it comes to freedom. There's something, there's a pattern. They are always educated in the norms of the enemies. They actually accumulate knowledge pertaining the enemies. If you look at the life of David and Moses, for instance, in the Bible, Moses actually was born out of out of this the system, and was brought into the system, and then was tutored in the ways of the Egyptians so that he would know. And then, of course, you look at Mazen Namdekano. He was born out of the system, and then he went to Britain to be tutored in the camp of the enemy to be on the know. And of course, we saw this woman also. She actually left, into the shores of the West, and then got tutored also, Ms. Oyibo, and then got tutored, and then she took actions. Can you give us, before you read that, can you tell us why it is significantly a kind of uniqueness that people who actually stand for freedom of their people actually get tutored in the ways of the enemies, and how this affects the whole of the struggle all over the nations of the world and in history.
It is rare for you to find most people that studied in the white man's land replicating that in Africa. It's very rare. The very few you see will either be killed on the way, branded, and taken out. So she's just one of those rare people. Like you have Professor Mbonujike, Professor this man, Eyoeta. These are all well-read people overseas that could bring back what they read into their country to build. But most of the people you see now only go there. They teach them. Well, that's the programming of the British people. I also have something I may have to send to you later. I've been making a lot of getting informations. When they go to school, they teach you what they know on what you will take back to your country. Not to open the eyes of your people, but to continue from where they stopped, so that you now begin to impose their mindset to your people, such that if your people want to rise up, they will rise against you, then they will send their men to crush them as rebels. And where your people are strongly in disagreement with you, they raise up another person who, like you, studying in their country, and giving that person opportunity to fight against you. So both of you will be clashing, and they'll stand in the middle as trying to make peace or to intervene and bring sanity. All this while, it is a program to hold you subject to them so that their own economies can run. Because they know that the moment you come into knowledge, you stop them.
Okay, based on the fact that they actually fed you and gave you the information that you operate on. They have programmed your mind on what they have tutored you on, and then they know what actions you can take, and they know how to crush you, because you're actually operating on the garbage they have, instilled in you.
Yes, I'm looking at something here. They said the Queen should put pressure on Nigeria to allow Biafra to stay. Is what I was trying to look at.
Okay.
Now
let's talk
about
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ms. Oyibo now. Let's look at her activities with the issue of Biafra. Let me read out something here. I think I can read from here so that they said in August 1968, the women under the auspices of the Biafra Council of Women's Society sent a delegation, to the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II. The delegation, which was comprised of 4 women, Mrs. Oyibo E, leading the delegation, Chief Mrs. Janet, then Mrs. Jemima, and Mrs. Mary, as members, carried the petition of
Miss Mary. That is not, she wasn't married then, Miss Mary.
Okay, Miss Mary, yes, Miss Mary, and carried the petition of Biafra women and bring their needs and requests, and had it placed before the Queen through the Biafra High Commission in London. The petition pleaded with her, firstly, as a mother, as a wife, and secondly, as the head of the government and people of Britain and the Church of England. So she's actually also the head of the government. She's also the head of the church. Having this 2 authority, the political leadership, she was the head. The religious leadership, she was the head, which means she has the authority. She had the authority and the capability of stopping the war and stopping the genocide against Biafrans. And now what they told her is that they want her to help stop, to help us by looking compassionately on us and granting our petitions. It's also requested for an audience with the delegation to discuss and to explain further the issues in the petition. Our petition outlined the needs and the anguish of the women of Biafra, which required very urgent and patronizing attention as follows. Now, these are the points that made up the petition. And the total embargo placed on Biafra over land, sea, and air so as to end the extreme suffering and starvation of the people. 2, stop the massive military support and assistance the government of Britain was given to Nigeria, which has prolonged the war. 3, end the war immediately so as to end the unwarranted genocide on the people of Biafra. Guarantee the observance of international conventions and better attitudes in the prosecution of the war as long as it will last by stopping the bombarding of innocent civilians, our children, husbands, families, and ourselves in marketplaces and schools. They were bombarding schools and all of that. And the bombarding of the warehouse site of international relief agencies. Britain supervised the bombardment of relief materials, relief agencies where they store some stuff to take care of those people who are misplaced. Support the granting of sovereignty to the Republic of Biafra so as to put Nigeria into the correct perspective to avoid future repeats of the genocide and carnage on the people, which of course has continued since then. The carnage have continued. Now, what does this paint, or how does the image of the Queen, the late Queen, how is it revealed in these points outlined here, which still were not met?
My response is an appeal to those Igbos, those Biafrans who still say till tomorrow, may her gentle soul rest in peace, or that it is the past, let's forget it and march into the future. I want you to reason. The thing has continued unabated. 4 women. This is Madam Oyibo Demado. By all standards, she is better than the Queen of England. Is it morally? There is no scandal of that woman having misbehaved educationally, or is it in humanitarian services, or as a mother. 4 of them gathered, spent their money. Remember, this woman is a Biafran, because she said somewhere that she's a Biafran, her father is a Biafran, mother is a Biafran, and she's a Biafran in her spirit. Went to see a fellow woman, wrote her a letter that as women to women, they will understand that we do carry children in our womb for 9 months. We know what it means to give birth to children. The Queen, I think she died at the age 96, right?
Correct.
She's just 2 years older than Madam Oyibo Dunamadu, who died a few months ago at the age of 94. Just 2 years. So they were mates. They were contemporaries. She decided to go and meet her mate, a fellow woman, regardless of her throne, that they are killing children in my place. They are destroying them. We want to see you so that we can appeal to you, so that you can look into our eyes. We talk the way women talk and cry together, so that as a mother, you can get up and stop it. The Queen refused to give them audience. And that thing that the Queen did has consistently been carried out till today, that she's dead. That the exploitation of the people and the killing of the Biafrans has continued unabated. And a Biafran girl or a Biafran man or an Igbo man who is a lecturer or an economist or educated, a politician will come out and say, don't worry, it is the past, let's forget it. It is not the past. It is a present continuous. They are continuing, holding us to ransom. How do you want me to rate the Queen? If you cannot use your brain and understand that this woman is evil, the death of the Queen brought the Irish people celebrating on the street that the woman is dead. It's like good riddance of bad omen. And you see Biafrans, you see stupid Nigerians from maybe the middle belt, idiots, the North Central that we are fighting for, talking that they should be free from this thing. They are saying that the Queen should rest in perfect peace. She's an evil woman. She refused to listen to the cries of fellow women over the lives of poor innocent children that were killed.
Now, Pastor, let me point out this now before you go on that, because let me point out the reaction of the Queen when these things were presented to her. One of the things I missed that she was presented to her was that to help the women of Biafra by giving us relief materials, food, clothing, medications for the millions of the refugees and families. Now, this is what now happened. The delegation was totally snubbed by the Queen of England.
Exactly.
Her Prime Minister, Mr. Harold Wilson, and the entire government of England, neither the Queen nor the Prime Minister nor any official of the government, officer of the government, gave any kind of acknowledgement. They didn't even give acknowledgement or reply to our written petition. Not one of them granted the delegation any kind of audience. Mr. Wilson was said at that time to be on vacation. He was just enjoying himself. Rather, the delegation was sent to the Archbishop of Canterbury. Blah, 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 blah. Now, how do we... Now, today, we have the continuation of the rulership of of Buckingham Palace in Biafra land, because of course Biafra is particular, because that is what we are concerned about. Because when we free Biafra, we free Africa. Now, there is this continuity of the killings and all of that through the present king and through the concept of the Commonwealth. Now, how do you describe an average Biafran who sees the Queen as a subject to be looked up to for value, for sanity, for morals, and otherwise, based on the fact that from Buckingham Palace right now, we have lots of stories coming out of how the atrocities going on there. We have pedophiles, we have cannibalism, so many issues going on in the palace, in Buckingham Palace. Please speak on that.
It is either you see that Biafran as being ignorant or being outrightly stupid and foolish. It's either he's ignorant, he doesn't know this history, and therefore he's seeing the Queen as somebody to look up to, you don't blame him, or that he knows and decided to ignore it. That shows how stupid and foolish he is. I told you some time ago that the greatest challenge and obstacle to freedom is when the man that is in bondage enjoys the bondage which he is in and loves his master. You can't take him away from it. He enjoys the bondage and loves the master that has put him in bondage. So it is either that Biafra man is ignorant, he doesn't know, you don't blame him, and he's knowing today he should change, or on the other hand, he's plain stupid and foolish. And the Queen cannot be absolved. Somebody says, no, she was just the Queen, she didn't have any power. No, she is the head of the Church of England.
Definitely.
The Queen is the head of the government of Britain. Let me give you a little exposition. 50% of landed property, lands in Britain, is owned by the Queen. She's the owner of Britain. Everything answers to the British Crown. She's the owner of all the churches in Britain. And the Queen is valued at 17 trillion pounds. She's richer than the whole of the West African governments put together. And all these monies were milked from West Africa to put in her treasure. Didn't you see when she went to inspect the gold which they had stored, showing off? These things were gotten from Africa with the one that was stolen from South Africa. So if you are still saying that long live the Queen, or she's dead, you are sorry, don't condemn the dead, that you don't know, don't judge, it shows that either you are ignorant or you are plain stupid. And it is your stupidity that has made the British, listen, tyranny does not exist or does not improve without the support of those being subjected to tyranny. Once it has support, it will increase. And that is why we're bringing this awareness to people that the Queen of England is responsible for the wickedness that went on in Britain, in Biafra land. For all those that left England to come and fight in Biafra land and take our gold, came under the authority of Her Majesty. She appended her signature. There was a time 1/5 of all the countries in the whole world were under British rule, and they were milking them. That is why I come to the Commonwealth of Nations. Up to today, Britain is controlling the resources of those countries within the Commonwealth of Nations. And if they appoint a man like EMEKA LIVINGSTONE, Secretary General, he's boasting and carrying his shoulder that he's an accomplished diplomat. He's a slave to the Queen. EMEKA LIVINGSTONE has just faded off. Nobody knows him. After getting his money and being paid, he's gone. All his ideas and knowledge or whatever is nonsense. He never contributed anything to his people, to the Biafran people. And that is why the Commonwealth should scatter, should disband. Let me tell you, the death of the Queen marks the era, a new era. After 70 years of holding nations in captivity, the British throne will suffer so many problems and catastrophes. Look into their lives. They are pedophiles. They are ritualists. They make sacrifice of people inside that their throne to sustain it. They are devilish and wicked people. So Prince Charles can never sustain that government. My prayer is that all the nations under Commonwealth should break away and leave. Britain cannot sustain itself. They don't have the capacity to. They feed fat on our resources to look healthy and strong. Whatever nuclear weapons they have is based on the resources they got from Africa. If we stop it, that's all. Britain cannot fight a battle all by herself without America helping them. Even this America, you see, was once under British rule, and they fought against Britain and became free. So it's a very wicked country that the whole world should rise against them. They are evil because their people don't speak to their princes or their kings of the wickedness they perpetrate against other people. When you talk about terrorists, when you talk about terrorism, people that practice real terrorism by using education, politics, and diplomacy, it is Britain. Because terrorism is all about killing people, terrorism, subjugating them to follow your own lifestyle. That is what they did to us in West Africa. The British people are terrorists. Their countries filled with terrorists. Their government is a terrorist government. They need to repent and see other human beings that God created as equal and respect them so that there can be peace in their home and in the homes of other nations. They should leave Africans alone, let them discover themselves and build their own country. We don't hate the British people, but we know that the British government over the years have been terrorists, including the Queen. She has terrorized Africans.
Thank you so much for touching on that. They have terrorized Africa, and they are still terrorizing Africa. We see what is happening at Olu now, and of course, we know that the only reason why they did that was because they are using the means of the insult that was recently, constituted by Muhammad Abbas and his team, and of course, they are extension of the politicians who are working in proxy, for the British throne and the caliphate that is supervising them. Now, our people, of course, some of our people are confused. In fact, some calls coming in. I've received several calls since yesterday. People telling me of how the things are happening, how scared they are, how afraid they are, and what they think. Some of them are even doubting that we have the capability of handling this issue and keeping Biafra land and securing Biafra land. I want you to talk to Biafrans because we need to encourage our people and get our people to understand that even if because Britain could not succeed, they only actually used the media against us then and then used the blockade. But now we have the ability to sustain ourselves, also to stop, also even to create a no-fly zone around Biafra land so that they will not be able to penetrate our place and they cannot blockade. They cannot block the land, they cannot block the sea, they cannot block any part of Biafra land again. So which means that this time around, since we could hold that war for 3.5 years, in spite of the fact that Britain was actually and actively in charge of that war. And of course, we can see that the Queen actually, as a woman, refused to do anything about it and allowed children to starve to death. Now we know that we have the capability. Please talk to our people so that they understand that this fight, we would win it. And then they shouldn't be afraid. All they need to do now is to be careful and just follow instructions. Please talk to our people, please.
Before I talk to our people, I want to talk to Journalist Hangout. It's a program they hold on TV. I listened to those men, they were talking crap. Those men who cannot speak the truth. The bombing that has taken place in Olu now, their stupid television station cannot go and look at it and present it to Nigerians and say, this is the Nigerian government bombing civilians. They are not shooting guns against them. The civilians are not shooting against them. That Journalist Hangout, I saw them. There were some men talking from Anambra State, from Enugu State. They were just talking trash, nonsense. That is why journalism in Nigeria is sold to the devil. They are useless. That Journalist Hangout, the man that is anchoring it, that was talking rubbish, I was listening to them the other day. Let him go and report what's happening to Olu now. They will not say it, but they will come and say, the IPOB has caused this. The government should put up effort to check security in the East. Meanwhile, Boko Haram has taken over the north, coming down to Niger State, going to Abuja, threatening the president. Those cowards cannot say anything. Therefore, Biafrans, don't mind them. Don't listen to those idiots. We are not going to be polite when we are talking because we are angry. We are not going to be polite with those guys because some people who are polite can politely say things that will kill you and put you to hell. That means who will tell you in point blank language, I'm not happy what you're doing, you should change. That's number one. Number two, in respect to what is going on, we know that the hand of the British is in it. They are the ones supporting the Nigerian government, which in turn is raising miscreants from among us to cause problems. When Britain was going to war, their priests came up and blessed their soldiers to go and fight Germany and destroy them. I, EMEKA LIVINGSTONE, will bless Biafran soldiers to shoot down Nigerian warplanes. And if they catch any British man, that they should kill him. I mean, it's a war front thing. You don't have to spare him, because when they were blessing, when the wicked Queen of England, who was the head of the church, was telling their priests to bless people who were going to fight Germany, we all supported it in those days. Even though I was still small, I was not born there. But by proxy, we supported, either through our parents or grandparents. That same Britain is doing the evil that Germany did to Israel, and they are doing it to us. And so you don't expect me to tell a pilot that wants to go and fight a British jet to shoot it down, and if they catch that man, you don't expect me to tell him, no, forgive him and preach to him. No, it is a war situation. If he caught, he should face it totally, because if it is the Biafra man they catch, they're not going to spare him. So nobody should misunderstand me here. I don't like what they're doing. Now, Biafrans, don't be afraid. As you are angry, as you are offended, as you are worried, so are we worried, offended, and angry. And we are going to have meetings and we'll keep talking. We are going to build up. Listen to me. Listen to me. God is allowing them to attack us very well so that people will see with those video evidences. Because of tomorrow, when it starts happening, let nobody say, hey, these Biafrans, they killed Nigerian soldiers. Let them, I am asking Biafrans, anything you see those soldiers do, as you film it, put it in the internet, let it go viral. Let it go into the ears. I will tell Simon Epa, he has to come up to, say it, do a video, as many video covering. The son of Ngugi Wathiongo is a professor. He was discussing with some white men the other day. We are going to look for ways to get across to him and send him video clips of how people were being shot and killed by Bago, Nigerian soldiers, and other wicked people, so that they will know the true situation. And then when we fight back, nobody will say we hate people. We are fighting in defense of our land. Our people should not be killed. If you allow the British people, Harold Wilson says he doesn't care if 500,000 Biafrans are killed every day, as long as British interest is protected. And I, EMEKA LIVINGSTONE, will say the same thing to Britain. It doesn't matter whether the whole of Britain is bombed into extinction, as far as Biafra is let free, because your wickedness has continued unabated. If Britain can go away from us and mind their business, we are willing to forget the past. But they will not go away because they cannot sustain themselves. Britain can only live by sucking the blood of Biafran people. They are vampires. So Biafrans, don't be afraid of the war. We are going to win this battle. When the time comes and we start carrying out our operation against the Nigerian government and Nigerian army, let nobody say these people are ruthless. Let nobody say these people are heartless. Let nobody say these people are causing collateral damage. Let them not go and start branding us terrorists. Because we are going to take asymmetrical warfare and we are going to deal with them. We are going to cause them a lot of damage and havoc if they don't stop this thing which they are killing our people. Because it is hurting us so much to hear that shops in Olu were bombed by the government of Nigeria. And you have a governor in Imo State by name Hope Uzodimma. Information we are getting is that he was the one that invited them. I don't know how true, but we have a governor who is not speaking against it. We have Soludo who cannot talk against it. We have P2B who cannot speak against it. We have China Sanwon who cannot speak against it. They are coming to bomb our people and killing them. Everybody is looking now at Simon Epa to do something. So Biafrans, don't be afraid. This battle, remember what Onyendu said. Remember, before I leave you, remember Onongante. If you believe that Onyendu, that is why I'm going to say a lot of you only enjoying Onyendu, you don't believe in the spirit that rules his life. If you believe what Onyendu said, he said that I will cause these people to come into my land, to come and take over and kill my people. And when they come into my land, I am going to kill them there. Not one of them will go away, and Biafra shall come. He said it. That's the way Onyendu talks. He said it. And exactly what he said is happening. The people have been lured into Biafran land. It's the Lord that brought them here. They will die there. Not one single of them will go free. Because we are not invading the north to take over Katsina state. No, we don't have such intention in our minds. Let them live and let us live peacefully. We want it. But they're the ones coming into our land to come and kill us. And I assure you, Biafrans, we are not just talking with our mouth. When they attack you first, you allow them. There must be a reprisal attack. And a reprisal attack must come with a lot of damages. They have to pay dearly for it. I can assure you that they will not go free.
They will not go free. They will not go free. So we are telling our Biafrans, wherever they are, they should make sure that as they capture the events around them, they should be careful. Also be very smart, be very careful, and make sure that they are very sensitive to movements around them so that they will all live to see Biafra. Thank you so much, Pastor, for making out time. And we actually don't want to make it more than 1 hour so that our people can also have their data to watch and also to be able to go through it from beginning to the end. We have made so many vital points. And as you said, we have to begin to show the things that are going on around, the killings, the destructions and all of that, that's the zoo government is, inflicting on our people. So our people can get those details and keep forwarding them to us, but they must be careful as they shouldn't go close to a scene to try to capture because they want to forward. No, they have to be very, very careful and mindful of how they operate. And of course, we are telling them, don't be misled. Don't be afraid. Courage will save you from even being killed on time. Because the truth about it is that fear is destructive. The Bible says fear is a torment. When you're tormented, you lose your sense of judgment, and before you know it, you make a kind of mistake, and then you get yourself into harm. But all of us are going to see Biafra, and thank you, Pastor, for giving your time and the expositions you've made. You've made so many points here that are very important. In fact, if we take those points one after the other, we're going to have different topics that we're going to be treating and handling them, and we're going to take this thing for a long time. But I know that you will still also create time to come again, and then we'll begin to, from all these points that have come up, we'll begin to now shed more light on some vital things, so that our people begin to learn. Our purpose here is to make sure that we lecture our people, teach our people, and then begin to reorientate them at this particular time until we get into our freedom, begin to revitalize their minds, and also get them to get away from that mental slavery position they have found themselves, and that destruction that the cow meat and all the destructions that the zoo has brought upon our people, and also, of course, yesterday we had our fundraising, and we still need funds. Please, I want you to talk briefly on this, how, in fact, especially our churches, the businessmen in Alaba, in Ladipo, and all those places, they need to now come strongly out, because we need arms and ammunition. We need no more hiding it. We have to say it the way it is. They are killing us with bullets. We have to get bullets and weapons to defend ourselves. Please, what do you have to say? Maybe in the next 1 minute, talk to our people. They have to come out to fund. They don't need to wait for fundraising days. They have to come all out to fund ESN, because ESN is our stronghold. The alliance now is wider beyond ESN, stronger. We need arms to give to the people.
First of all, I want to thank our people. Regardless of their not having much, they've been making their contributions. If you look, majority of those that have contributed to the Biafran struggle are those that don't even have much. So my appeal now goes to the churches and those businessmen who are benefiting from the Nigerian government. A day of reckoning is coming, because Biafra will come. And don't say that time that the church is being persecuted. Because if the church will not contribute to the Biafran struggle, it means they are supporting Nigeria. And Nigeria is contrary to God, and they are killing Biafrans and raping them. So when the time comes, don't say that you were persecuted. Because whatever measures the government of Biafra will put in check your wickedness, don't say you have been persecuted. If you are running a church and you never contributed to the Biafran struggle, don't say tomorrow, is this the Biafra you are going to get? When you come, you are going to persecute us. No, the point is that if you are not supporting Biafra, even secretly support. If you don't, I tell you the truth, you are supporting Nigeria. And because you're supporting Nigeria, you're not a friend of Biafra. You don't want Biafra to come to pass. That's the simple truth we're telling you. And then before I go, after thanking you, Biafrans, I have 3 prayer points. 1, that Britain shall be isolated in the name of Jesus. It will remain an only country. All those that she control will break away from Britain in Jesus' name.
He said,
Number 2, the British crown will face so much scandal that every respect they have on earth shall collapse and they become ordinary. So that British will rise against them and remove that kingdom, that crown.
He said, in collaboration with Biafrans, he said.
Number 3, Britain shall be overrun by Islam in future. In Jesus' name. These are my 3 prayer points. Thank you, Biafra. God bless you. The coming of Biafra shall be the end of many wicked nations, their popularity and their progress. Because we are going to open the eyes of Africans that they can manufacture cars, bicycles, and be self-dependent. Instead of going to Britain for education, we can have our own education that is functional, organic to us. Train our people, bring our people and better people than the one that the British gave us. I have said it before. The most that you get from British University in degree is to go and be a servant to a Fulani man in the north. That is no education. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you so much for that last submission. You have just made some critical, submissions, and your last note is worth and take home. And also, Biafrans, we want to thank you, and also we say, stay peaceful, stay as according to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. We want peace, and that peace will come by your discipline. Make sure you don't sell the mandate, and make sure you don't get yourself to become a saboteur or allow the devil to get into you to become a stooge against this mandate. And also collectively to you, Pastor Livingstone, Emeka, we say thank you for making our time to speak. In spite of the fact you actually had things to do, you had to make sure that we talk to Biafrans today. And God bless you, Biafrans, wherever you are. And of course, the prayers we have made against Britain, they're going to see it happen in this our time. And as they go down, they will see Biafra excelling and becoming a tool to global peace and sustenance. Thank you so much, everyone. Join us again. This is Biafra Global Network Summit. Please share this video. Yes.
Autopilot, I'm a Biafran. I'm very proud to be a Biafran and shall remain a Biafran forever. Yes. In Jesus' name, amen.
Yes, in the autopilot mood. Because that's
in the autopilot mood. Fully activated.
Activated, well activated.
Unbuyable, unbribable.
Definitely. Unbribable at all. Cannot be bribed. Cannot be bribed. Please, Biafrans, share this video. Let other people hear the message. Share it all wide to all your social media platforms. And God bless you, Rigo. Thank you so much, everyone. Join us next time.